What up, No Rhyme or Reason listeners? So, first of all, I want to apologize because this episode is not going to have any video footage. And I also want to apologize because we thought that we lost the audio as well. And last minute, right now, I found it. And so, lo and behold, right, the show's going to be a little late. There's no clips this week. But ultimately, I just think that I don't know, we'll do better in order to keep up with our files, make sure things aren't corrupted. We'll test things in the beginning. And as podcasters, we should know better already. So here's episode 135 Why Nice Guys Finish Last. Stay tuned. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Chris Gray,
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
and this right here is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We back.
We are back. And if you got a comment about anything that we discussed today, be sure to put it in the comment section. Be sure to email us, nrorpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to us. We'll be on Twitch one day. One day.
Just ain't today.
It ain't today. But yeah.
Also, shout out to the intro.
Yeah, shout out to the intro. I put that little thing together before we got here. It was maddening, which is why I was late in the first place. So it is what it is.
I'm fully vaxxed. They thought I was out for the count.
Why?
I was asleep.
You asleep?
I was asleep today.
Okay.
Earlier, because I think you and wifey checked on me.
Yeah. I text because I didn't get it. I was up early anyway, but I didn't get a message back about me adjusting the time today.
Yeah.
So I was just like, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Like, what's the deal?
And I was like, yeah. I rolled over and I'm like, she said he just texted to see if I was like, oh, we got it.
Okay. Yeah. I just had to make sure you weren't sick. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have had to make other plans and get a guest host in here.
Ooh, replacement. Dang.
Just a guest.
Are we already there?
For the moment.
Oh.
I don't even know if the stream's working, but I just tried to connect it and it failed gloriously. So it is what it is. Hopefully Garrett doesn't have any issues with the video. Sorry if we
it does. Y'all just getting screenshots and audio.
Yep.
And we'll be back next week to try it again. Y'all know
be a still image. We move like every 15 seconds or so.
Listen, I want to do that. Well, I don't know what episode to just make it way easier, where we just like,
me?
Huh? But I think that'll be funny. Y'all might laugh just because that seems like something that we would have to do given some technical difficulty circumstance.
I believe it'd just be irritating.
Oh, 100%.
Most likely.
100%. It'd be like a 10-minute episode.
So let's get into it. We got a lot to cover.
Let's do it.
We have not a lot of time because we already burned like 300 hours already trying to figure out technical difficulties and me getting here. My computer is effed.
The
way effed.
We got to tell them the last straw, though. The last straw was, so he had the intro loaded and it should have been able to play from the laptop. And so we're trying all these different things, but it kept playing from this TV because we have a monitor set up so we can see the topics and it not impede the screen all the time. And so we're doing all this, and it immediately hits. I was like, we could just load this on the soundboard. I was like, we're making this way more difficult.
Yeah, that's that was my breaking point.
He was like,
I was just like, oh. Larry David makes that noise and Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's like, yeah. So that's what went through my mind.
Shout out to Curb Your Enthusiasm. Shout out to Ryan Davis on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Shout out to all the black representation
Yeah.
on Curb.
I noticed Eric Andre was in the background season 8 or so. It's a little funny. But
Shout out to Eric Andre.
yeah, JB Smooth,
JB Smooth.
constant appearance there.
Mm-hmm.
And so super funny though. I didn't realize how funny JB Smooth was in those sitcom situations.
It's like, because he's like a more energetic Tracy Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And Tracy Morgan is energetic, but I think that he's more of like your uncle.
Yeah. Turn us up.
Oh.
I was trying to signal it, but that wasn't working.
It wasn't. I didn't pick up either. I was like,
Yeah,
y'all can hear us?
You can crank us up a little bit more. As a matter of fact. Yep.
Y'all
That
can
is
hear us?
golden.
Y'all hear us?
That is golden.
Mike,
I don't
Mike,
think
Mike,
that.
Mike,
I don't
Mike,
think
Mike.
that'll clip out.
Miggity, Mike.
Should be pretty good.
Talking shit.
JB Smooth.
Yes. So he's like that uncle, that drunk uncle, but he's a polished comedian. So all of his moments are hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like, and I think that's hard to do with that style of comedy. I think it's JB Smooth, Mike Epps will be in that kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a storytelling, like everybody can picture this being their uncle kind of thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Let's get to these topics.
Another thing about this setup here is these chairs hurt my ass right now.
I agree. Sorry, I'm also in pain. I was in them before you because I had to sit up, and then I was sitting trying to make sure that
terrible.
we were framed.
I need to stop shaking the table and the mics.
It's you today.
Huh?
It's you today.
I mean, a little bit, but mostly
With the
table.
jangles.
Mostly the table.
Blaming it on the table. Blaming on the table.
You jangle way more
dog.
than. Wait a minute. Never mind.
Whoa! Whoa!
Good
luck with that, bruh.
Let's just go to the topic.
Oh, I know Gary got to cut away for your ass on that.
Yeah. So, Super Bowl announcement. The Pepsi halftime show is going to be headlined by Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. Sounds like an album's coming.
Sounds like I was right.
Sounds like an album.
Good luck with that, bruh.
You think it's going to drop fourth quarter? I mean,
like
it
I was
already
right.
is the fourth quarter, right? So
Yeah. So, I mean, he got 2 months. 3 months.
Usually it's before holiday, like
I give
Thanksgiving.
him November.
It's before
But
before Thanksgiving.
But this wouldn't be till February.
But I think it has to come out. They want a Grammy nod. You know what I mean?
You want a Grammy nod, and you want something that has caught traction.
Yeah. And you don't want to
Fuck
wait
Super
till
Bowl.
like right before February. You don't
No,
want
true business. So I feel like I'm going to
So
be right.
January is an off month. December's an off month.
Yeah.
So it has to come in.
And he left TDE, so
Yeah. It's either this month or November.
which I think is the most amicable leaving of a record label ever.
You think so?
I'm presuming because I mean Top would have said otherwise.
Yeah.
If it was all bad, it would be all bad. Like I don't feel like anybody on that roster would just be quiet about that.
Yeah, his PG Lang, that imprint,
Yeah.
or that creative hub, is more like it is something that's going to be focused on. But what do you think about these headliners? What do you think?
I'm hype
Not all
out.
positive.
I'm hype outside of Mary J. Blige.
Okay,
I'm not a big fan.
you're not ready to see some dance moves.
I'm not in this dancery. I'm not ready to be in the dancery. Rest in peace to my cousin Tamika. She loved Mary J. Blige, and I was like, when she passed, I was like, I love you.
Yeah,
I still can't jam. I mean, she has songs that are cool, that are hits, and everything else is just her voice, her younger voice. Yes,
yeah,
but a lot of like the newer songs just seem kind of. But everything else, I fool with. Like, it's gonna be the best produced show they've had. Mm-hmm. Period. Because Dr. Dre is gonna make that so.
My only thought about it is that, all right, so number one, Dr. Dre's he's a little too gray in this photo, but Eminem,
Yeah.
like what I don't hope is, okay, so now they're, making the halftime show more black, more representative
Shout
of
out
the
to Jay-Z.
culture, more, more.
Oh, good luck with that, bruh.
More representative. I don't know if that one fit, but
Well, I just meant Jay-Z sound. Jay-Z does this.
Got it. That makes more sense now. Anyway, more representative of the culture and more inclusive of what people are actually paying attention to, and we're going to talk about.
Well, and they're in
a little
LA
bit
though.
more.
The biggest thing is that they're in LA. They're going to be playing at the Rams Stadium.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
I had to inform him he's not the sports guy.
I don't know if I'm going to finish a thought one of these times. More importantly, I was just curious if Eminem was put there in place because of the white audience for the Super Bowl. He's a part of the culture, but at the same time, I feel like in the boardroom, they're still going to be like, but we need somebody that looks like us. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. You know what I mean?
No, because Weeknd was by himself.
I don't know. But they had more people than
And then
that,
Weeknd
right?
does trend. No, it's just the Weeknd last year.
That was just it?
Yeah.
Jesus. The year before that was packed full of people, though.
I can't even remember because I hardly ever even watched the Super Bowl.
I was like, it's like, I don't know. I can't remember. T.I. or somebody. Outkast was there. And then some
Yeah, I
other,
think so.
some white folks was there. I don't.
But here's why I don't think that it is. It's predominantly an LA thing, and I think it's a Dr. Dre. Obviously, it's a Dr. Dre led cast because he's the centerpiece in terms of how they got at least the marketing and stuff going. I think it's kind of it's going to be about him
Okay.
and his connections because of all the hits that he made for Mary. We know what it is with him and them. We know what the relationship is between him and K-Dot.
Dr. Dre made a lot of hits for Mary.
He made
I
the
don't
in
remember
this
any of
dance,
that.
so read this. That was
That's
Dre.
one of them.
I think
don't
he
know
also
any
did Man Enough for Me. I think. Oh, that's
Okay.
Tony Braxton. But he did that. So I don't know. They have a closer connection than I think we
Yeah.
give credence
That's
to.
surprising because, Mary's East Coast and had the connection to Puff early on. So
I think it fits LA. I think that's what they're going for. Though it's still, but again, I think it's more of a Dr. Dre thing because Eminem's not from LA and neither is Mary. I would lean towards maybe thinking Mary was more for the people, like what you were thinking with the Eminem take. Because if
it's
you
R&B.
remove, yeah. Because
yeah. But Eminem is pop. And there's an older generation that doesn't care for Eminem at all. So yeah, maybe Mary just has the more
and they don't
crossover
care nothing
thing.
about him now. Because Eminem is polarizing in the fact that he did that whole Donald Trump freestyle that was received. We talked about this.
Yeah, that might be a little off-putting to most of NFL fans. Anyway.
Yeah. So I think this is just more that LA or aftermath power
Got it.
is the aftermath kind of thing.
Aftermath. That's when Mary appeared around that time.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Because I think that was the song of him bringing her back out.
Yes,
So
I do remember that. So speaking of anonymity,
good luck with that, bruh.
Mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, man. I love how we are allowing rappers to age.
Have you ever heard the meme of people just like repeating "mom spaghetti" over and over and over again for like hours?
No.
It's not people, but it's like you go and on YouTube there's Lose Yourself, but it's just "mom spaghetti."
So I haven't seen that, but one of the streamers, shout out to Steven Plays, whenever he's like playing a game, it's like, man, my palms are sweaty, and then I know, "Mom spaghetti." So I'm pretty
There it
sure.
is.
Ah, damn it.
There it is.
Damn it.
I knew it was coming.
Damn it. Ah.
Smack. Mom spaghetti.
But he plays that sound, man, and it's always funny because Eminem just posts. He's like, "Eminem, are you there? Mom spaghetti." So I'm pretty sure that came from that meme that I've not seen.
Mom spaghetti. Mom spaghetti. It's funny.
But I what was dope about this is not only did he open it, he served the first couple of customers, or a good deal of them.
Did we even tell the story?
Of Mom Spaghetti?
No.
Oh, sorry guys. So Eminem opened up a restaurant in Detroit.
Got some family there. Shout out.
Named Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Which is infamous from, Lose Yourself.
Yeah, and it's a quick little fast food joint where they, kind of package up spaghetti type meals. You see on the screen there's a spaghetti sandwich. Looks delicious.
It does.
And then some other
Did you ever
things
do
that
that?
people can go to. Yeah, of course. And then it's fire. Especially garlic bread, Texas toast.
Yo, what are you
Son.
doing right now, B?
Son,
Yo, son, what are you doing right now, B?
Mom spaghetti. Anyway, so they serve up fast food style at a kind of window thing, and people can come and grab a quick meal.
He served people. He flipped people off, he was M.
Yeah,
And I'm so appreciative of rappers being able to age like this, or the great aging like this. Like, I like Snoop's transition into everything. Like, I love his broadcasting and stuff because he's still Snoop.
yeah,
Jay-Z stuff. I mean, regardless of how people feel about Joe Budden, I love that transition. Royce and Lupe are, I wish they would have kept going on with the podcast, but they're still out here in these arenas and setting stuff up. But this is amazing.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, old.
What was that?
When you're old and gas and burps just like, yeah, out of nowhere, TJ's fault. But this is just dope. I don't know what else to say, but I really, really enjoyed this. Your thoughts?
Mom spaghetti. So I think that it's a great idea. I just hope it lasts. I just hope it sticks around. Right?
Oh,
And then
hope
we
it's
see
not
some
like a
other
pop-up shop?
franchises and no, not like that. I'm just hoping that the business works.
Yeah, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like
I think it will, because he had to, like, if nothing else, I'm positive he had to do 1 million tastings, because
I'm sure him
him
and Paul have a solid business plan. I trust that and things like that. But the restaurant business, like,
oh no, 100% no. Like, the chance of success for a restaurant is less than 10%.
yeah. So
And like, that's why no matter where you live, I guarantee you there's a shopping center where there has been an Indian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a barbecue restaurant, 1 million different restaurants. That was me. My slip up.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Gotta put the phone on silent when you're running through the board. But he has a good footing. Because not only do I think him and Paul tested through a lot of different things, in the event that it's gonna quote unquote fail, they'll have already sold the properties by the end.
Yeah.
To
We're
me.
speaking about Paul Rosenberg, his manager.
Yeah. And Paul is famous for a lot of different things, and it's just their relationship. I don't think will allow it to fail. Plus, I mean, it's M, and he started it in Michigan.
So, good luck.
Good luck with that, bruh.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So,
Jump off.
we got our next topic. So this kind of I think I put this in the rotation simply thinking about being independent, and Joe Budden is celebrating the independence of his podcast from Spotify after a year. And so we wanted to play a clip. We wanted to kind of talk about what that clip means and maybe discuss ownership for a little bit. So let's go ahead and try that out.
It was quarantine, it was COVID, it was deaths, pain, loss. 2021, I'm on their ass. Work nonstop. Watch how much I get done. And God had other plans. Mm-hmm. I kind of love when that happens, though. I do. Some people respond negatively when God shows you a different route, or that you're on the wrong route, or that certain people weren't who you believed them to be, or that plan or relationship that you had faith in, that faith was maybe misplaced or in the wrong spot. Some people respond really negatively to that. I'm the exact opposite. And I know I'm weird in that, but I thank God that he shows me things early rather than late. Like, I could have stayed in that bad spot thinking that was the place to be, and it could have turned out really, really bad. So God had a really rude awakening for me this year, and all of my plans had to get pushed back. And what I thought was going to be a year of innovation and pushing boundaries and progression and growth and maturity and just the entire gang growing, it was a year of hurdles. It was a year of poor interaction. It was a year of reflecting on mistakes, things we could have done better, things I could have done better. It's been a year of lawyer games. Man, I'm saying this with my owner hat on. Boy, it's been a lot of attorney games being played from people, creators, podcasters, people with hidden agendas and motives. And sometimes when you get so engulfed in the work, you're the last to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like
usually happens that way.
Yeah, like when I started my career, I was asking Web and Nitty, hey, how do I know when I'm hot? How do I know when I'm hot? When I'm hot?
Everywhere they go, chaos happens.
Yo!
Random ad.
Yo, saying
I think I'm gonna connect next time because I got premium.
you something else.
So, outside of that random ad interrupting our
You'll be the last to know.
whole flow.
Oh God.
Works the same for when you cold. Like when you're dealing with a profession that involves the opinions of so many other people and just how you're perceived and received.
Is that 3?
You'll be the last to know some shit. So this year, while it was head down to the finish line, work, I just missed some things. I missed some things, and I was glad that God showed them to me, and not just me, but the guys that were sitting here with me. Like, the result was the same.
So I'm just thinking about that, right? And he touched on a lot, right? Going independent, and basically he's just boiling down to like, oh, some things have been revealed to me, and I'm glad that I went through these things earlier instead of later, because if it would have been later, it would have been worse as it turned out. So I'm think about any of your setbacks in your career, and that could have been worse.
Biggest setback I think would have been this year, because all of the setbacks were self-caused, and things that probably could have been changed or different would have been like years ago. Mm-hmm. But this year specifically, I think losing all the people I lost at the beginning of the year made this transition. It made it something that I needed to focus on. So the obstacles were already in front of me. And I chose, okay, well, we're going to get up. We're going to move. I'm going to make this move because I want to be in the same vicinity as my brother. And I want to take the work of music, the work of podcasts, the work of streaming 100% seriously. And I want to make the logistics easy, as y'all can see with all our technical difficulties, on doing that, because I know what the energy is like when we're able to work together versus you trying to orchestrate me and my emotions and stuff like that from afar. So this year was full of obstacles, and even an obstacle in the last bit of getting up here, which we went from, thinking maybe we'll get up here around October before the winter. After saving some money, we were going to move, save some money, try and, get things together so we can come up here and have time to kind of adjust to having them to fully move in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so, like I told y'all on that episode when we were talking about being back, I think that made me appreciate things more, because I think that there's a different light, energy wise, for the podcast, the things that we're doing for it, the things that we're going to be doing. So I wouldn't have had it any other way. Well, I mean, granted, I would still like all of the people I lost to be here. But I'm thankful that at least it happened at the top of the year instead of like now.
Yeah.
Because if I had moved and all of this happened, I don't know that I would have been able to stay. I feel like I would have wanted, everything in me would have wanted to go back.
Yeah. So, my perspective is like, I'm in a space where I want to be past just the things that we're going to do. You know what I mean? Or currently I'd rather be in the middle of those things.
Right.
But at the same time, I understand that there's a process. There's, understanding the process. Something in my meditation this morning was like, all right, pay attention to the process, but don't worry about the end of the finish line, right? Because if you're focused on the finish line, then you're constantly seeking a new finish line, a new point, right? And if you're present in the process, then you're just in a better mental state. And so
You taught me that.
yeah, I think that's where I currently am. Setbacks have been shaking table.
Yeah.
Setbacks are your leg. Setbacks are
Oh, sorry.
your
Man, 4?
setbacks have been being in New York City, leaving that environment, and not knowing what I was gonna do next. That was a major setback, and that's a year I took off. And so understanding that,
And it didn't look like it though.
well, yeah, I guess I try not to let people know what's going on behind the scenes, but like ultimately those setbacks, that was a learning opportunity. I didn't need to be there. I needed to get it a different way. I needed to make sure that I was completely independent, because had I stayed there, I probably would have been somewhere close to signing, right? And that's just, it just wouldn't have been the best move for me. Even though the folks that were vouching for me at the time didn't really want a signature, right? They wanted a smarter deal. And for me, even that smarter deal didn't seem to be the best route in hindsight.
No, you know how much you were controlling before you left. So when we started working together back in 2009, 10-ish, is when we started to link back up. When we've been friends since '90, since elementary school. So let me get y'all timeline right. But what you had at that time, you had your own website. Like you had a roster of artists. Like whether we did what we needed to do or not. you had your things in order. Like, if everybody had contributed the way we needed to contribute, like, okay, because at that time it didn't matter. Like, if somebody said, if I had told you, hey, I'm coming up there for a week so we can get this album done, even if I didn't come up there, you would have been like, okay, go to Kev Studio. Like, go to KEV Studio. Like, sessions already planned. You just gotta go over there, record, and then, hey, come up here in the next 2 weeks. We're gonna shoot a video. You would have been regressing to do anything with anybody else if, like, at that point you weren't at a position to do the 21 Savage thing. And I think you knew that, you know, even in your heart, in terms of like coming back. Like, it wouldn't have been. You were already so far forward. And you've always been that way. And I think a lot of the planning and steps that we've taken to get here are going to pay off. I always think these things are going to pay off because I know how much work and how much dedication and the realness that's behind them. So.
Yeah. So I think sort of like Joe Budden.
They call me Chris Gray over here.
So I think that based off of his road towards independence, like, it's like I'm trying to make sure that I carve out that ownership and still maintain that and maintain my sanity along the way, because it can be a struggle, can be a difficult battle, but we got to keep pushing through it. So I want to kind of transition to the next thing because it has a lot to do with independence. These are some facts, some data, some statistics.
Data.
And so
Jesus.
this data that we're putting up on the screen, matter of fact, I'm gonna switch our screens out. Let's see if I can get it right on the first click. Boom.
Hey, look at us.
Get it right on the first click. Put us down here at the bottom so you can see all this goodness here.
Let's check this out.
And so this data is music streaming and radio consumption based off of the platform and based off of the generation, right? So we got Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, and boomers. Okay, boomer. And according to this is from askatest.com, and then also Digital Music News reporting on this source. So let's just take it, kind of platform by platform. Spotify, 68% of people that are 7 to 22 years old. So that lower end of the demographics, they're the ones that listen to Spotify. For millennials, folks our age, it's 42%, which is super surprising. And I'll talk about more of this on Music Advice later on. Gen X is older than us, 39 and 54, 26%. Boomers are 11% of Spotify and so forth. And those trends go downward for every other music platform from there. But the most surprising thing is that the people that don't stream, right? So about 3% of the young kids, so 97% of the young kids, they actually stream. And if you go to our age, it's 9%. It's closer to 10. So 90% of people stream. Gen X is 26% of folks that don't stream. And then boomers, half of them don't even touch the internet at
Every
all.
other boomer you see does not. Well, and here's the reason, though. They just don't know how. Some of them don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Because as soon as you show them, they're like, oh. And then they just go with it.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that and thinking about, right, some moves that I've been trying to make and those types of things. And man, had I had this information, had I had this data, or had I thought about looking at some of the audiences a little bit differently, I would have moved differently. And so that's just kind of what this data is for.
Well, not to give all of your music advice stuff away, but what is a little bit of your surprise for the Spotify info?
There is no surprise. The thought is basically it's you got to change your plan based off of who your audience is.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so that's just getting into those nuances, right?
Man.
Analyzing. So for us, the bulk of our audience is 23 to 38.
Yeah.
And so knowing that if we're not skewing younger kids, like advertising to Spotify might be a waste of cash for us. Advertising towards, Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube may be a better use of those funds.
Because then it catches the gap. But I guess I do still think that, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of like a 22-year-old being 22 and listening to us. I mean, I would, because that's the sound of music I like, that I fool with in general. I guess the advertising goal of trying, since we don't skew that way, is it because of the sound, or is it more related to I don't even know what I was about to go.
I think it's just more of making sure that if we're in a space where we're connecting with people, number one, we got to make sure that the music is on par and on point. And then secondly, when we're advertising, we just need to make sure that the budget or the target audience is hyper targeted. So you can't put songs in there that don't work.
Another surprise on this list that I think you are underselling. Boomers and Gen X be using the crap out of Amazon.
Yeah. So Amazon is, surprisingly enough, it's not the most used music streaming platform, but it is the fastest growing music streaming platform. And those that are older have Prime accounts and order from Amazon, so therefore they get the music service. Speaking of, in the description, you can find a promo code for Amazon Music Premium, and go ahead and click that and support the channel.
But that is dope. Also, I think you also have on most of your music advice channels, or even our older videos, I think those links are still active. If you buy into those things with the Amazon link, that does kickback stuff to us as well. But the other part of this that is interesting, that says it's about the functionality of the platform, is the Gen X and Boomers and their huge use of YouTube music.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to that sizing, right? When it comes for Boomers, when it comes for Gen X, yeah, I feel like that's a sizable comparison.
But the thing I think about, because I know it's like 16.9%, but I believe that 16.9% would be the grandparents that always have their kids and they need to know how to run YouTube for whatever. So that's like an interesting thing. It's cool to see the usage, because I guarantee you, if you break it down further, it gets really scary.
Yeah.
So if you go from, so if you take the 68.4% of Gen Z on Spotify, right? Then you break that down to what it is that they're listening to. And then that divvying starts to get, a little more like, well, if 48% only listen to country music, then it's like, there was really no point in trying to advertise.
Well, we know that's not true, right?
Hey, man, I'm trying to be nice. Come on, man. We got country listeners out there.
I mean,
not 48% of them, but
no. So I don't know. These statistics, this chair is killing me, man.
My bad.
And we still got a lot to talk about. But anyway, so these statistics are very, very telling. It's helpful to musicians that want to understand it. And if you want to know more about it, just be sure to subscribe to this channel or find my website, wordplaytj.com, and I'll talk about it on there next week or this week.
Yes, sir.
So let's go to the next thing. Next slide. So the next slide is, and I wanted to bring this up. This is the title of the episode: Why Nice Guys Finish Last.
Good luck with that, bruh.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's where I'm going.
Drop the
this one.
bars.
It's a discussion, right? So I don't know where you are with this, but I've been feeling this for
Oh, you know where I'm with this. I
For
tried
a
to make
minute.
3 albums and behind this topic.
and ultimately, if I think about relationships today, and maybe even throughout our lives, right? I would argue that both of us are pretty nice guys, and it wasn't until I was not so much of a nice guy that it even mattered as far as like dating and relationships. And so the less nice I got, the better outcomes in dating. And it like, I wish I could say that it was just like, it's just a fluke, or the individuals that I was with in the past. I just believe there is a lot of misconceptions about what nice guys aren't fun. Ultimately,
Yes.
nice guys aren't fun, and that's my thesis on that one. And so therefore, nice guys get the negative benefits, or not negative benefits, but the negative consequences of being nice, because ultimately for the opposite gender, they're not fun.
A lot of this is about representation. So for most people, what they presume to be a nice guy would make a lot of people feel like we couldn't protect them. Like we wasn't finna, the toxic masculinity or masculinity as a normative in that sense. So my thoughts have always been, as I learn more and more about society and I'm seeing the different reactions and relationships. We talked about this last week about how I don't want to be back out in the dating pool ever again. If I have it, like it wouldn't matter what's going on. If we had to, I'm just done. Like now, granted, I would turn into the most scumbag about scumbags. Like I'm not in a relationship to be in a relationship. I'm not in nothing to be in nothing. I'm just out here doing what y'all doing, which is smashing and dashing. But the reason being, we are so convoluted in negativity, in negative traits, and just having what we think are good things to bring to a relationship. I have seen more posts over the past 10 years about, if you're paying this much of your bills and you're not paying this much of your bills, and then you're this and you're that, like from people that either aren't in relationships, don't understand nuance, don't understand that different relationships come with different struggles. And that was the issue. It's not that nice guys finish last. The representation of us is wrong. So
be more specific about that one point, right? Like the bills.
So they were saying if you're not paying 70% or all of the bills, you're not a man. And then they were saying, like, if you're not funding this for her and funding that for her, that kind of rhetoric of who should be paying what, when, where, and why.
Yeah.
And that being the end all be all of what all relationships have to stand by and stand for, right? And not letting people have their own relationships, because you don't know anybody's struggles. You don't know what people came up with. So that's like saying, so say an average person, because I hate the average Joe moniker, because ain't nothing average about me. But anyway, so say you or I had the opportunity to date a Beyonce, right? Mm-hmm. By the standards of this world, I can't sing. Like, yeah, I rap very well, but rap don't sell as much as pop. By your standards, their standards, I would have to figure out a way to either make more money than her to subsequent all of our lifestyles, so she can just chill and retire or do whatever. And if I'm not, then I'm not meant to be with her, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, what kind of astronomical standards are we setting? Not only are we doing that, we compound that with the current movements. Like, I saw a post, it's funny, this all fits into what you're talking about. So I saw a post the other day about a young man saying consent for guys is not respected the same way that we talk about the consent for women. And he's right. But the girl, the girl that was kind of not responding or kind of rebutting his post was kind of connecting the dots between how it is we need to stand and help each other in this regard. Because we don't help the younger kids who are molested by older women or older men or whatever the case may be in certain ways. We always kind of just big them up for it, where their consent doesn't mean anything, because we're always supposed to say yes. We're an animal and we always want it. We always want to do these different things. People don't see relationships in an evolution sense. They see it in base traits that if you don't have them, then it's not going to work.
Yeah. But I think here's the thing. The reason why we see it in base traits is because we still have a innate connection to those base. We haven't shook the evolutionary need,
right,
to have those base traits. And so because we haven't, still guys have to be, 5'9" or better, like
5'10" or better is what most people would say, because you
5'10"
got to be
or
closer.
better.
You got to 5'9" is the start, because that's the average height, I think.
Right. Got to be built. You got to be swinging. You know what I mean?
Good luck with that, bruh.
So you gotta have a lot of things. you gotta have some money in the bank, or at least be ambitious enough to be ready to have some money in the bank.
Here's the other issue. So they also do that, but so say we keep the base traits. This new age stuff be like, you gotta have those base traits and you gotta evolve.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Like, you got to do all that, be emotionally available for me, understand that I need your emotional availability. And it's like, huh?
Yeah. The two don't match, right? So being a nice guy doesn't make you appealing on the dating market, and being too much of an a-hole puts you in a space where, yeah, you might be successful in the dating market, but you're not going to have anything too long-term or lasting, because it's going to be flash in the pan type of quick burn.
Your things are going to be flesh related. It's
sure.
always going to be desire related. Like, that's what the asshole does. Like, because if you're an asshole and you got money, like, and you don't have any plans on changing,
Right.
they're there for the money. They think they can change you. But a lot of times, the reason that they're able to stay or leave without feeling like it was a loss to them, they get a piece of your money. So financially, it's not a bad move for them.
Yeah.
Like, because no matter what
if you're married, but I don't know.
well, a lot. Listen, if you're married or they just have a kid with you, because that's the other
True.
game. Like child support games is crazy. Like we've seen what Dr. Dre's was divorce stuff, not so much child support, but the Brittany Renner situation with one of the NBA players from the Charlotte Hornets is PJ something. I can't think his last name.
Yeah.
But that whole situation was an interesting situation where we don't like, as much as I watch it, and I've followed her like on Snapchat and stuff like that for years, because I've always just been kind of interested in that type of thought process. Mm-hmm. I mean, she looked good. I ain't gonna like hold you and say that it was all about that, but it's also been, I'm very inquisitive about other mindsets and I will check stuff out. So what I realized when I was sitting back looking at their situation is I don't have all the information. So we keep saying, she gamed homeboy out of all this money and this, that, and the third. We don't know what kind of dude he is. We know she said stuff like that puts her in the position that we're going to assume that she just gamed him, that she just had a kid with him to get money. But I don't think that we make women so nefarious that that can't always be the end goal, so to speak.
What do you mean by that?
So I've said this before, that I think the big issue that I have, like with the Amber Rose slut walk or anything that of that nature, is the fight currently for women, in my eyes, is to be the worst traits of us, because we make you feel like you can't be that. So with that, a lot of the time we starting to make women out to be just terrible in a lot of different ways. You can't trust these hoes, and every woman got a price, and prenups and all of these other things, where it's like relationships are no longer relationships. They're all business deals.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of these things are 50-50. While you shouldn't go in just fully invested only in your emotions, there has to be some form of logical reasoning behind a marriage, because finances can tear up whatever emotional anything you got if you don't have an understanding of them.
Yeah, but finances are security, right? Which
Right.
goes back to those kind of basic, primal sort of needs and things of that nature.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. I believe quite firmly that the majority of heterosexual women want things out of men that few men have. So, like, the majority of women want attributes in a man that only like a small slither of guys have.
I saw something else today, but we also, as black, I can only speak for black men, want the same. Because I was listening to this post about black women, right? Mm-hmm. You and I both grew up with very strong black mothers who we saw endure and work through everything. So then I go into a relationship looking for that. Whereas that should not have been the normal. Because they were in situations where they're enduring and pushing through in a situation to where if we then encounter somebody, we think they have to be able to encounter or endure the same amount of traumas or stress or have the same amount of work ethic that our mothers had, when that's just false, especially if that person was in it's the reverse nice girl thing.
I don't know. I don't know that a lot of guys want that.
The drive, it seems like.
I don't think a lot of guys want that drive.
Really?
Really?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because I don't think. I think a lot of guys are still conditioned by they're still conditioned by the dating market to want to win, and they're conditioned by society to want to win, and being a man means this, right? So winning.
Okay.
ultimately, and winning could be in a multitude of different things. It could be 6 feet. It could be, working out. It could be having your bank account right. And if you have all three, you're definitely winning. And so what I believe is that men want something to balance that out with. They want legacy, right? Somebody to have kids with and to propagate with, especially those guys that
Propagate.
Especially those guys that are winning.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't need any. I don't know. I don't find that most guys believe that women having money or women being ambitious or dedicated is that sexy.
Not that part.
Okay. So
Just the general strength and amount that they've had to endure. There are a lot of black men specifically that think like, oh, you can't handle a little cheating? Or you can't handle
okay,
it like
got it.
That kind of trauma enduring thing where it's like you expect everyone to respond to trauma the ways you've responded to trauma. Because they don't have to be like, we want them to be bulletproof on whatever level. Because we've seen parents and mothers who weren't working triple time, but doing everything else triple time in the house.
But is it just infidelity?
Well, not infidelity. It's everything that they're expecting them to endure.
What else is that?
So whether it's like arguments, my money not being right, me not being emotionally available. Like, what do you need me to be emotionally available for? Spiritual connections. In that, I've always professed and talked to Kanae about us in regards to, I'm going to make sure that God is not only seen through you. Because for me, in a lot of different ways, that's where I saw it the strongest, even with my dad preaching, because of what Black heritage is taught us by, your grandmother praying for you, your mother praying for you, your mother always taking you to church, Bible study, a lot of time, at least in my household, it wasn't my pops doing that. So I'm very aware that I want to be a image that my kids see of spirituality in a way that's not like the only place you're getting it is from the conditioned nurturer.
Yeah, but I would argue, right, that attribute is the attribute of a nice guy for sure.
True.
That part specifically, and so yes, that may work in a small fraction of relationships, but if you didn't have that plus the other thing, plus the other thing, plus the other thing, plus the other thing,
Anytime you say the other thing, in my
you ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna work for most relationships.
True.
I feel like the deck is stacked against the is stacked against nice guys.
Oh no, it's definitely stacked because the sentiment is that you cannot be emotionally available and protect.
Right.
You can't
have
be,
both of them.
You can't be a good man or example for our son and be able to show our daughter who she should marry. You can't go outside and fix the car, come inside and cook dinner and make sure everything is going right. Like there's something wrong about that. There's something off about being balanced, and I know that there are dads that cook, but so often it's just like, dad grills, or something that like seems relatively easier versus
a little bit more caveman.
Like, nah, bro, I cook.
Yeah.
It's chef game over here. Like, and I don't know, man, you getting me fired again for this.
I mean,
because I'm listen, I've had 3 different album titles way back in the day that I was gonna make. Like Death of the Nice Guy was a whole album I was gonna make. Roses for Chivalry.
Because it's dead, right?
Like, yeah, for a lot. Well, it's dead in the sense that, and that's why I was talking about the expectation. So a lot of the time, if we go and open the door for somebody, like there are so many people who either be like, no, go ahead. Or no, I got it.
Yeah.
Or not say thank you, not say nothing. Feel like I'm expecting something from opening this door for you. No, I open the door because it's what I've been raised to do. I think it's a nice gesture to be like, oh, the door's open. I'm going to make this a little bit easier for you, and then I'm going to go on about my day.
Yeah.
So
I think, and I think this might be my last point. I think that part of the nice guy thing and what keeps nice guys being the unwanted brand is if being a nice guy meant that you would get sex more. If that's what it meant, right?
True.
And sex equals, I would say, not just for fun, not just for pleasure, but sex in a more general, broad sense means to be able to have a family and pass on your lineage. If guys that were nice were more appropriate for that sexual outcome, then I wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
no, but nice guys would have to have if we gave off sexual aggression, not like taking it, but like there's a certain level of control and dominance.
Well, it's confidence,
The confidence.
right?
That's
It's
what I'm trying to get
confidence,
to,
and so when I think about like a transition from being in a space where I got little female attention to more female attention, like, or a lot more female attention. It's when I transitioned from being less confident to more confident, but at the same time, like, it took a little bit more than that even. It took me to start dumping some nice guy traits in order to have more success with that. And I think that's a problem. I feel like nice guys should not struggle to find somebody that works for them in the day of the internet, but they're still struggling. They're still not having, like, okay, so just the example of how easy it is for guys to get sex, then I'm sorry, how easy it is for women to get sex versus guys to get sex. Like, there's a huge gap between that, right?
And the numbers don't add up to where there should be a huge gap between
But the thought is that we're all out here running the streets. The reality is that, like, a handful of us are running the streets, and those handful are the type of dudes that are liked the most.
True.
So bottom line is just like, basically everybody that's having sex is just having sex with the same circle of people.
Oh yeah, like Meek Mill posted the other day about it's really scary out here to even find a girl that my homies have not talked to or somebody I know has smashed. And I mean, that's industry stuff, but at the same time, like, we as people can't even play the game.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't even have people they can connect to. And being a nice guy also doesn't denote that they're bad in the bed. Like, that was also something that used to be like if you go oh man, my tweets. Like reading my tweets and seeing like memories and stuff pop up. Like, no, not even canceled. It would just be like, joking. Oh, he's so simp. Like the whole new age simp thing where it's like, there's a difference to me between, and they're kind of adding that in with being nice now too.
Yeah.
Is that like if I compliment you and I'm like, hey, beautiful woman, good morning. Like the good morning dude is hated.
Really?
Oh, he is hated. Especially if I'm the dick and I'm texting you good morning. Like, hey, how you like, because that's an evolution. It's a change.
I would argue that there's a fine line, right?
Right.
You can text, but not too much text, because all of a sudden you start like it's easy to slip in the thirsty zone.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's easier for a nice guy because anything I say is seen as thirsty.
Right.
And I'm like, when I go back and I look and I was like, dang, man, I was like, yo, like I'm reading I don't regret them because I'm still genuine in what it was I was saying to that person, because my thought was always, I'm going to show you that I'm nicer than those folks that just like they saying that stuff, but they don't believe none of that. Like I'm not coming here and saying, you know, I suck a fart off your chair and all this other stuff that you see from The Thirst, bruh.
Where'd you get that one from?
Listen, chat rooms. Yeah. You'd be surprised. Like, just go find whatever model you want. Don't even matter who. And go scroll through and read the comments. And I guarantee you're going to find a comment of that nature. If it has not already been
about
banned or
farts
blocked.
on chairs.
You going to find that or I drink your bath water. It's probably more
Of course.
common.
Yeah,
it's probably more common.
The bath water. I've heard that.
But it's stuff like that to where it's like, you just look crazy. Like I still look at my posts where it's like, you know, I'm waiting on somebody that I can give the world to. And it's just like, I know who I was otherwise. Because the people that I've dated, if nothing else, can probably attest that I'm me all the way through. I can be a dick. I can be a jerk. I don't want to be. Like, and I think I'm more of a genuine person, more of a aggressive person now because of my relationship with Kanae previously to wanting to, like, I told her that was the biggest issue when we got back together was I didn't think I could be that same nice guy. I didn't want to be because I felt like I got taken advantage of. And so that caused early issues with us because I wasn't just being myself.
Yeah.
So.
But I wonder does, and we can find a way to close this up, but like,
Yep.
I wonder, does
Y'all getting that
being
work today.
the nice guy, is that truly everybody's true self? You see what I'm saying? Or is it just putting on in order to not necessarily get sex, right? Because it's more than sex that most guys want.
Ooh, I got you.
Is it just a thing where you're laying it on in order to ensure that you're gonna pass on, you know, your next line?
Nice guys are genuine to the fact that I'm being nice to you for a real reason.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we give the expectation and the hope that the same care and intricacy of getting to know you that I'm going to give you is what I hope you give me. Because we're wanting to show the realness of the fullness of who we are.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't get that opportunity
Yeah.
because we get mad about stuff like, I be crazy and probably end up scrapping in behind, you know, somebody saying something to you. But do you ask of those things about me? Because the problem with the nice guys that when we do get picked up is you're only thinking about the fact that this feels good for you a lot of the time.
And it's not reciprocated.
It's not reciprocated because how many women are actively trying to get to know you when you go on these dates? Like, we don't have real conversations. I've always said, and I'll close with this, have the real conversations when you don't think you should be having the real conversations. Because a lot of the time you're going to save yourself so much time instead of thinking like, oh, we got to be on date, 3 months in.
Okay, so you're saying like early on,
just
to the
have
point.
the conversations.
Get cut to the chase.
Have the conversations, whether it's marriage, whether it's kids, whether it's jobs, whether it's what you want marriage to be. Have the conversation.
Yeah.
Because if you don't ever know, what you're expecting and what you create is going to be different from that relationship. And it's especially going to be different in marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
Bars.
Let's go ahead and wrap that up. Everybody, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube, subscribe on whatever podcast application that you listen to us. Be sure to share this with everybody. Also join us on Patreon. We got a bunch of different tiers: the underdog tryouts, only for the underdogs, upgrades, ultra, and exclusive. And every one of those tiers goes up in value as time goes on. We're not going to do an overtime today, but be sure you check us out.
Y'all got the overtime today.
Yeah, you got a lot of
went
overtime
way
today.
over.
But check out the podcast next week, and be sure to check out our episodes in the past. And
They'll be there. And make sure you follow us. Hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube, so that way you can be notified when our clips go out, when the Music Advice channel stuff goes up, when the episode goes live, and be on the lookout for Gray Area Anime stuff and music stuff from me and TJ. New thing, because he doesn't have a thing for it. Make sure you subscribe to us on Twitch so you can get the live streaming access. We're not gonna stop working on this, so
and that's down in the description, by the way.
Twitch.tv/wordplaytj.
Yeah,
Go follow him now. It doesn't cost you anything. It will cost you nothing to go and follow him. Let's get his numbers up. He's at 2. And that's because he hardly ever used that place. So let's go get those numbers up. Then follow me also at Icarus_Gray, Twitch.tv. I don't know why people always say Twitch.tv.tv.
you can say twitch.com/Icarus_Gray.
It's Twitch.tv.
That still works.
Isn't it? Does it?
Yeah,
Oh, Twitch.com/Icarus_Gray.
that works.
But check us out, because we are going to be doing some really, really cool things. Because I know once I show TJ all of the things that we can do, his brain just gets to going. So just get ready for it, and he's going to frustrate himself. But we will catch you guys on the next one. A 1 and a 2 and a peace. Oh, hold on, wait. A 1 and a 2 and a peace. I had to bring my piece over, guys.
Oh.
See ya.